So I wanted to talk about this movie that came out called Obsession. And I saw it myself, and it's a great movie. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's one of the better horror movies I've seen in years. But I wanted to talk about the main character. His name is Bear. And some of the stuff he does in the movie, I've seen people online and on the internet say that it's incel behavior, to the point where they're even saying that Bear is probably an incel, which means involuntary celibate, which means you want a relationship but you can't get one. But because of the media and because of how society has spun things, incel now has a dirty meaning to it, and it means you're a misogynist who hates women and you think you're owed sex. And there have been a couple of incidences, only a handful of them, where incels have resorted to violence. But if you actually look at the data, only 50 people have been killed by incels over a 20-year period. So it's not this panic that the media is trying to make out of it. But anyway, I've done some of my own research on incels, going on the forums and reading about it, because I'm a mental health advocate, and I've talked with people about the issue of incels and researchers as well. And I've seen studies that say most incels are autistic. Most incels have some kind of mental illness. So with this narrative going around that Bear is somehow an incel because he wanted the main character Nikki, but maybe she didn't want him like that. And the thing is, with the movie, we don't know. He had chance after chance to ask her out, and he just didn't want to. He just didn't do it. So we don't know if maybe she was kind of into him. We just don't know. So, but anyway, he cowered it out. And I think a lot of incels, a lot of men in general don't know how to approach a woman or ask a girl out. But a lot of incels are autistic, so they have social anxiety. And I saw one woman say she had some empathy for incels, because if she was 5'2" and poor and didn't know, had bad social skills, and a man, she would probably be called an incel too, you know? So yeah, he puts a curse. He basically does a make-a-wish thing, like the willow tree or whatever they call it. And he wishes that for Nikki to fall in love with him and love him more than anyone else in the world. So she falls in love with him, but he finds out that it's kind of a demon manipulating her, and it's not really her. And he tries to put up with it, but then really terrible things start happening. I don't want to spoil the movie, but it's the notion of, I guess, consent, because she didn't consent to what was going on, and I guess that's why feminists are talking about the movie, and they're trying to use like a feminist perspective of, see, this is how men try to control women, and the whole making fun of the whole nice guy meme. Like, the guy might say he's nice and a good guy and might complain that girls want the bad boy, but in reality, if he could control the woman, he could, kind of thing. But based on my research of incels, I don't think Bear is an incel. I really don't. Mainly because the main character, Bear, we don't know if he's had a girlfriend before or lost his virginity, but Bear has options. Bear has options, number one, because he has that other girl, Sarah, I think, who's kind of into him, and she's coming on to him. And one thing I've seen incels complain about on the internet is they complain about teenage love, and they're saying, oh, they've never known what it's like to have a woman genuinely desire them, and now they're in their 20s, or some are even older. They've never known what it's like to have a woman genuinely be into them, And Bear has had women kind of make a move on him now, and that's on him not to do something about it. But incels, on the other hand, they look at it like, ain't no woman ever said, made a move on him or made it obvious she's into him. And incels see asking a woman out as a humiliation ritual. So for that reason alone, I don't think it's fair to say Bear is an incel. I think a lot of normal men have been in a situation where they might be like, man, I wish I could get that girl to want me. Or if I had the genie from Aladdin and could do 3 wishes, one of them would be, man, I wish that girl would want me. I don't think that's incel behavior. I don't think that's, I think a lot of men would do that. And honestly, I think a lot of women would do that to men as well. If they could be like, oh, I wish God would just send me a rich husband who looks good and has money, and, or I wish God would send me, an athlete or something. And they would make a wish about it, but that doesn't mean that they would want that man. You know what I'm saying? Because in the movie, she gets possessed by a demon and stuff. They probably wouldn't want all that extra bad stuff to happen. But I don't think it's fair to say people who just want a loving relationship, people who just want a loving relationship. I don't think it's fair to say these are evil, horrible people who are predators necessarily. I don't think Bear knew what he was getting himself into, and it goes back to the meme of be careful what you wish for. But Bear did kind of seem like a coward, though, because he just didn't know what to do, and then he tries to kill himself and doesn't even want to kill himself to break the curse. And but yeah, I thought it was a great movie, but again, I don't think he's an incel, and I think the media now, I don't know what's going on with them. They're just using the word incel to say things that don't even mean someone who wants a relationship but can't get one. Now they're saying everybody. It's kind of like the word fascism. They just basically said everybody we don't like is an incel, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I've even seen them try to say that Andrew Tate is an incel. And I'm like, how the heck is Andrew Tate an incel? This guy has women. I don't agree with what he says, but he has women. He has women who choose, they're choosing to be with him, Or Joe Rogan is an incel, or whoever, and it's really ridiculous, especially when they say like police officers are incels and married men are incels. And I get some of that, because sometimes married men are in sexist relationships, and women can use sex as a weapon too of manipulation. It might not be as bad as wishing for someone to be possessed, like Bear did, but women can be manipulative too. Women can use men too. When you put sex on a pedestal, or when you say I'll sleep with you when you do the dishes or get a good paycheck, that's using sex as a weapon, and that's abusive too. I think there are women who would do what Bear did if it was a high value man. So I don't think this is just a patriarchy men problem. I think it's a human problem. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it and get that out there, because I've studied incels. Some of them say some bad things online, but I don't think they're evil terrorists trying to murder women on every street corner, So yeah, it's interesting to look at that, and it's interesting to see what the narrative is saying. So yeah, check out the movie, and yeah, y'all have a good one.